I quote, "This past week, the Washington defense has been preparing for both quarterbacks just in case Daboll decides to give the rookie some live action."
Shout out to Juan Gotti Talking Sports. You know what it is.
Shout out Juan Gotti Talking Sports.
The way that we live is not for everybody.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
How do you think the rest of Jaden Daniels' career is going to go? If we're, 6, 7 games into Jaden Daniels' career, and he's already milking injuries? Like,
stop saying my name, you dick riding bastard. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty love again now, she's confident.
So tomorrow's game day, and the New York Giants are doing everything possible to catch the Washington Commanders off guard, including a potential sighting of rookie quarterback Jackson Dart. Let's talk about it. So, a team like New York is trying to pull the upset, coming on the road facing a team in Washington that is the favorite in this matchup, but for it being a division game, the New York Giants are very, very confident in their chances of beating the Washington Commanders. Whether you talk to their fans, whether you listen to the press conferences from Brian Daboll or their players, they're very confident in the chance of beating Washington. They're going to do everything possible. It's almost like they have nothing to lose given the fact that they have minimum expectation this season. That's including a possible look at Jackson Dart possibly getting some opportunities tomorrow. Now, this article was put out by Diana Rossini of The Athletic, and I know a lot of people may not take her word for, the most credible source, but she is a source nonetheless that is very known in this space. And long story short, she kind of tied back Brian Daboll's coaching tree a little bit and digged a little bit and said how he can kind of have this Jackson Dart situation be more of a Bill Belichick-esque situation in terms of how he prepares him in practice and prepares him throughout, as he makes his rookie campaign. And so much so that it came out that Washington has been preparing defensively for a possible sighting of Jackson Dart on Sunday. And dare I say, I wouldn't be surprised if you see some type of Jackson Dart-esque plays. It wouldn't surprise me if they tried to catch you off guard and put Jackson Dart in there, especially if this Washington's pass rush is getting after Russell Wilson. Now, I don't know how smart that would be for the New York Giants, given the fact that they are going to be missing their best left tackle and offensive lineman for that matter in Andrew Thomas tomorrow. But just say, for an example, this Washington's defense is getting after Russell Wilson, because we know Russell Wilson is check down shorty. That's what I call him. He's a guy that wants to get the ball out of his hands quick. He doesn't have the same mobility that he once did. And although Washington isn't known for their pass rush per se, it could be a little bit different knowing that you have a backup left tackle and the rest of the offensive line isn't the best. And doing a little bit of research prior to this video, Daboll's background with Bill Belichick has always been preparing for contingency plans. That's how he's always, thought of and being coached. And looking at Brian Daboll and his tenure in New York, he's always had a guy that he was willing to put in, even though it may not have been the best guy, right? If we're talking Tommy DeVito, if we're talking other guys that had to step in for Daniel Jones, whether it was injury or just poor play, right? Like, they would much rather see other guys get opportunities. So what I'm saying is, don't be surprised if early on Washington is getting after Russ and this defense is causing some hell for Russ, and Daboll pulls the trigger on the young fella Jackson Dart. Now, I know a lot of people may not be talking about him anymore because the season is here and technically he's supposed to be on the bench and not seeing the field this year. But he had a nice solid showing in preseason. He was a big reason as to why the New York Giants went 3-0 in the preseason, and quite frankly, he's a big reason why this Giants team is confident about not just this year, but their future. They feel like they finally have a guy that they can lean towards. And don't be surprised if Russ is on a short lease throughout this season. Now, they have Jameis Winston, right? But we all know what Jameis Winston is. He's not anything that's going to get you sustainable success. He may come in and get you a victory or two at a time and come in and give an offense some type of spark, because that's how he plays. He plays with nothing to lose. F it, Malik Neighbors is down there somewhere kind of vibe. That's how Jameis Winston plays. But if I'm the Giants, I wouldn't hesitate to put my young fella in this season. Of course, every team has some optimism in week 1, and they don't want to just pack in the season in week 1. But who's to say he's not ready? And I'm so happy that we have a coaching staff that isn't getting tricked, is not getting caught off guard. We've been practicing scenarios in practice, per Diana Rossini, that involves Jackson Dart. I quote, "This past week, the Washington defense has been preparing for both quarterbacks just in case Daboll decides to give the rookie some live action. And the Giants have been throwing everything at Jackson Dart." So, as we prepare for Russell Wilson, as we know we're going to get a ton of Russell Wilson, I love the fact that we're not getting caught off guard. Because let's just be real about it. When a quarterback comes in, whether it's a rookie, it's a vet, if they're coming in off the bench, whether it's because of injury, it's because of bad play, they tend to give an offense some type of spark. And a lot of that reason is because defenses throughout the week aren't preparing for them to do that. But not Washington, not Joe Witt, not Dan Quinn. They have been preparing as if they're facing Jackson Dart as well. And I love that. I love that. I almost encourage Brian Daboll to put Jackson Dart out there. Now again, it's probably not the smartest to put your rookie out there in week 1 when your offensive line isn't at its best. But talking to Kid Blue last night, he said we're kind of used to not having Andrew Thomas, as the record is not good with Andrew Thomas, but it's not good without him either. And they're kind of not used to having him, or kind of used to not having him, I should say, as they has not been having him. He's played 16 games in the last 2 seasons, per Kid Blue last night. So they're not really that upset about not having Andrew Thomas, and they've been preparing all off season long and training camp long without Andrew Thomas, or minimum sightings of Andrew Thomas. So maybe it doesn't affect them that much, how I personally think so, or maybe the Giants may think so. But again, it wouldn't surprise me. Dart is a guy that has nice arm strength. He's a guy that can move around the pocket, has some athleticism, could provide an excitement and spark to this Giants offense that, prior to me having to lay eyes on them, as I'll be there in person tomorrow to see, their offense lacks. I can tell you that comfortably. Even though I know you got Russ, you're confident your offense lacks that explosion. It lacks that excitement. And when you have a young fella like Malik Neighbors on the outside, I think you have to pair him up with a young fella like this. But we'll see. We'll see. How do you guys feel about that? Leave it down in the comment section. They could be trying to catch us off guard with putting Jackson Dart out there, per Diana Rossini, but Washington's coaching staff is 10 steps ahead. That's why I love this staff, because they're already preparing for opportunity to maybe have to face Jackson Dart. And again, if that happens, that would be crazy, but I welcome it. Feast on the rookie quarterback. Throw everything at him. Make him beat you. Don't make it easy on him. And if they think he's prepared to face this Washington Commanders defense, or he's prepared to give them some type of offensive spark that they may have been lacking, let him do it. Long story short, Washington is preparing for Russell Wilson, and I fully expect to get a lot of Russell Wilson action on that Giants offense tomorrow. But just keep in the back of your mind that you could see the young fella Dart walk out there. And don't lose your mind, Commanders fans, because we've been preparing for this moment. We got him. So just keep that in the back of your mind as you're preparing and watching this game tomorrow. I wanted to bring this quick video to you. With that being said, as always, being boy Juan Gotti, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 11,000 subscribers. We really appreciate it if you can reach that goal as soon as possible. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out. Peace.
Ballin' like I'm D-Sean, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a laundry.